Whew. I'll tell you what, Dave, Starman, I enjoyed that game between Sweden and the United States. I'm sure USA hockey fans would have enjoyed it a little more had the result been flipped, 5-4 victory for the U.S. instead of for Sweden. But going back to that third period, again, once down 4-0, United States, led by a handful of players, come roaring back.
We talked about it during the broadcast, and we said to ourselves, once you get one, you can start to get rolling. They got one on a power play. Mike Anderson got it. It was one of the few times in the game where with the U.S. getting their elite guys on the ice, they had some space to work with, and they took advantage of it. So now it's 4-1. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. All of a sudden, the comeback started to roll. Sweden took a really dumb penalty, and Wallstrom converts here, gives it to Paling. That's the first of his three, and then Paling went puck hunting the rest of the night, and he was just dialed in. Stick down, eyes up, playing in the hard areas. That's his second of the night. Now it's 4-3. And all of a sudden, the doubt starting to seep in. Then Paling forces a turnover, puts a stick on the ice, takes a pass, puts it up top, 4-4. And all of a sudden, what looked like a 4-0 loss is now a 4-4 game. So you're thinking to yourself, hey, let's just go in the period and start to build on something. Instead of building on something, they built the whole house. Well, almost. Because then it came off in the overtime. U.S. had a couple of chances. Sweden had a couple of chances. The goaltender, Kaiser, made a couple of big stops, but after a bad turnover at the offensive blue line, the Swedes sealed the deal for their 47th consecutive preliminary round win.
That's Adam Boqvist, the Chicago Blackhawk prospect, and Ryan Paling. We talked going into this game how he's been the all-around best player for USA, showing again with a natural hat trick in 5 minutes and 49 seconds. Team USA scored all four in 10:02. So now the standings after this one. Sweden, first place in Group B, the overtime victory. U.S. does pick up a point for an overtime loss. So now in second, and that gets us ready for the New Year's Eve date against Finland. Finland wants that second spot. United States doesn't want to give it up because you've been talking about how pivotal it is for this group, whoever it is, to avoid that third slot. So if the U.S. is going to do that against Finland, another loaded roster, what do you want to see most?
I think what the U.S. needs to do against the Finns is what they didn't do against the Swedes, and that is be able to create space by putting pucks in good areas. I think that they skated a tremendous amount of the game into the teeth of the Sweden defense, and Sweden is really good at keeping five in the frame, at playing between the dots. The U.S. tried to come up the middle lane of the ice a lot, and the Swedes wouldn't have it. I think for the U.S., they need to get back to what worked well against the Slovaks and Kazakhstan, and that is get pucks wide, get double drives, get trailers involved, get good zone entries, and that was a part of their game tonight that wasn't there. I also think that fatigue was a factor in that game. Their legs looked heavy for good chunks of it.
They will have a day off to rest and recover. We could see a matchup of the top two picks in the 2019 draft come New Year's Eve between Jack Hughes, who's been out the last two games, and Kaapo Kakko of Finland. You can watch that game 10:30 p.m. Eastern right here on NHL Network.